of where we've been, where we need to go. You know, there's somebody always has to be there with something positive. There's a lot of negativity on the radio right now, all around the world, and TV. So I wanted to be the positive, one of the positive things that people can watch and listen to. Try to get a job today, but when I'm still an application, them say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, we don't want no trouble, no. We don't want no trouble, no day. Cause lady, where you come from, people die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man, MC Chinaman, this man. I tell the people, man, say, watch a program, I know. Yeah, man, Damian Phillips, every night, live. Check.
Hey, tell us about your kind of songs. What's your objective?
Just to enlighten the people's mind, you know, and to remind them of where we've been and where we are and where we need to go. You know, there's somebody always has to be there with something positive. There's a lot of negativity on the radio right now, all around the world, and TV. So I wanted to be the positive, one of the positive things that people can watch and listen. Try to get a job today, but when I'm still an application, them say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, we don't want no trouble, no. We don't want no trouble, no day. Cause lady, where you come from, people die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man, MC Chinaman, this man. I tell the people, man, say, watch a program, I know. Yeah, man, Damian Phillips, every night, live. Check.
Tell us about your kind of songs. What's your objective?
Just to enlighten the people's mind, you know, and to remind them of where we've been and where we are and where we need to go. You know, there's somebody always has to be there with something positive. There's a lot of negativity on the radio right now, all around the world, and TV. So I wanted to be the positive, one of the positive things that people can watch and listen to. Try to get a job today, but when I'm still an application, them say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, we don't want no trouble, no. We don't want no trouble, no day. Cause lady, where you come from, people die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man, MC Chinaman, this man. I tell the people, man, say, watch a program, I know. Yeah, man, Damian Phillips, every night, live. Check.
Hey, tell us about your kind of songs. What's your objective?
Just to enlighten the people's mind, you know, and to remind them of where we've been and where we are and where we need to go. You know, there's somebody always has to be there with something positive. There's a lot of negativity on the radio right now, all around the world, and TV. So I wanted to be the positive, one of the positive things that people can watch and listen to. Try to get a job today, but when I'm still an application, them say, if this is where you really reside, please step outside. She asked them why, and they replied, we don't want no trouble, no. We don't want no trouble, no day. Cause lady, where you come from, people die there every day. And for our safety, that's where you should stay.
Thank you very much for your time, Ethan.
Man, MC Chinaman, this man. I tell the people, man, say, watch a program, I know. Yeah, man, Damian Phillips, every night, live. Check.
Tour, hosted by Damian Phillips. It's informative, provocative, and unconventional. Hosted by Damian Phillips, lifestyle.
You want someone to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Baby, my time is too expensive. and I'm not your little boy. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me. Life's too short to have sorrows. You're here today, gone tomorrow. You might as well get what you want. So go on and live. Go on and live. Tell it like it.
DP, one more time, please.
If you want someone to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Baby, my time is too expensive, and I'm not your little boy. Don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me. Foolish pride. Don't lie to me. Life's too short to have sorrows. You're here today, gone tomorrow. You might as well get what you want. So go on and live. Go on and live. Tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me, tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me, tell it like it is. Tell it like it is. Don't lie. You know, baby. If you want want someone to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Baby, my time is too expensive, and I'm not your little boy. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will. Tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me. Life's too short to have sorrows. You're here today, gone tomorrow. You might as well get what you want. So go on and live. Go on and live. Tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed. Let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will. Tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me, tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your
All right, let us waste no more time. Let us waste no more time. Good evening, Mr. Jones.
Good evening, sir, and good evening to all the viewers wherever you are. Blessed love.
All right, and thanks again for accepting the invite. Are we going Instagram tonight? I feel like we can go Instagram tonight. I think we can go Instagram tonight. So let me say good evening again to each and everyone watching. My name is Damien Phillips. I'm your host and of this program Lifestyle. We do this Monday through to Thursday from 9 o'clock. It should be until it should be 10, but sometimes we go a bit longer. Or in this case, everybody see what happened tonight. Wasn't intentional. But what are we discussing this evening? And I get myself in trouble by I had to change the question a couple of times and re-edit and all of these things. So let me read it because I don't want to make any mistake now, because now we're live. We're looking at this evening. My question was, are breaks from marriages or committed relationship the premise of getting into another relationship? And Teddy, the reason why I asked that question is because I see like people are making excuses, and it's like there's this level of acceptance. And I don't know if I get it wrong because I'm not a marriage counselor. Are you a marriage counselor, Teddy?
Yes. Premarital and marital.
All right, good. And guys, I did invite some other people, and they had said yes, they will join the show. So if you see people just call in on this live, then that is what is happening. One person, she said that if she gets back in time, then she will join us and stuff. But anyway, I think we have enough so we can start. So let me just hook up my Instagram and then we start the discussion. Share the video. I see Teddy shared it already before he even came on. So thanks, guys. Share the video. Invite somebody. And as this famous person on Instagram say, the video bill up, make it bill up. Then make it bill up.
You know, baby. If you want someone to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Baby, my time is too expensive, and I'm not your little boy. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will.
Tell it like it is. That's what we're doing right now. Thanks to Stevie Face. Teddy, I'm going to ask you first. What is marriage?
So it is, and it is recognized in theological circles in, well, not just Christianity, but in pretty much many religions, most of the major religions. It is recognized as a divinely instituted covenant, a divinely instituted relationship between one man and one woman, and it carries with it the religious sanction, religious approval, as well as a very strong cultural, societal sanction and approval. So to the extent that in most jurisdictions, there is an official law, an official statute in the law of the nation, in the law of the country, that recognizes it and gives it legal status, and it is officially registered. You know, so it is recognized and affirmed both biblically and nominally by the laws of the land.
Okay. And I always hear marriage officers say after the during the officiation of the marriage, and they say it should not be entered into lightly. Why is it that it's
entered into lightly, unadvisedly,
unadvisedly,
soberly, discreetly?
Why?
In the fear of God.
Why that is said?
Yeah, that is said because it is said to convey to the persons entering into it the deep solemnity of it, the fact that it carries with it it is a tremendous responsibility. I indicated earlier that it is considered to be a covenant, which goes a step further than contract. You know, a contract comes from is binding and is legally recognized, but a covenant carries a deeper sense of commitment, a deeper sense of responsibility, and in this case, it also carries with it the sense that God Himself, who is the founder of this particular joining, this particular agreement, is so heavily vested and interested in it that by virtue of His presence everywhere, He is present as a witness to the entering into of that covenant. So it's a covenant between the two persons, and it is also a covenant between each of the participants and the combined members. A covenant between themselves and God who instituted marriage.
So can people take on this institution and do their own thing? is that right? Should people do it? Because I know people do it. So is that right for people to take on this covenant and then say, "Yo, I am going to drop the aspect that that don't refer to me, I don't like."
It's not right. And increasingly these days, persons are actually. I have had more than one. I wouldn't say a lot, but I certainly have had more than one man, mostly largely the men, come with a request saying, "I want to leave out this part of the ceremony. I want to leave out this part of the vow. I'm not interested in saying that."
Right.
And that always raises questions in my mind. It raises some red flags. At the very least, though, what it says is that person is entering into it advisedly. They have advised themselves of the expectations, and they are saying from the outset, I am not saying this in coming to this relationship, in coming to this covenant. This is not what I am prepared to be saying. And I usually say to them, well, I appreciate your honesty. But my next question to them is, have you discussed this with your partner? And is your partner in agreement with this that you are saying by your intention to omit this part? And typically they had not discussed it with the partner. And if they had, the partner is not personally saying. So usually we have to work through that and come to an agreement.
Before you give us some of the examples you alluded to, I am getting some information here. I'm trying to work around it, but they're not having it. So my viewers, somebody comment and said your audio kind of choppy. You know, it kind of. So I don't know if it's your microphone or whatever it is, but yeah. But can you let me try something, Teddy? Let me hear.
Okay, is this better now?
So there's this like rattling sound when you talk. So if you're not talking, I'm not hearing anything. But when you talk, there's this rattling sound. Did I say rattle? That's Jamaicans. Rattling sound.
Right.
But I can try to go around.
I think it might be better now. I made an adjustment here, so that should clear it up a bit.
No, it's not doing that thing for us. I'm still hearing it. But we can try to work around it. And let me welcome those who are just joining. Good evening. It is Lifestyle. We are looking at ask a question today. Where I'm asking is breaking up, breaks or separation or whatever you call it. Is it okay? Is it a premise to say, okay, I can go ahead and do what I want to do? And with me is life coach Teddy Jones. He's also a marriage counselor, premarital, postmarital. Well, I shouldn't say. Is it postmarital or during marriage? Or they say it.
Yeah. Well, post. Probably the more accurate thing to say would be post-wedding.
Right, because the marital has to do the word marriage.
That's obviously what I said.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're just joining, let me say welcome to the show. Right, so who you come to? The post marital advisor now would be the lawyer to say, yes, you're getting everything, you gotta take everything from him. So let me say good evening again, those who just joining. We did start late, so bear with us. So good evening to each and everyone. Kavisha says right now, and I think she was responding to something that either me or you say. She say, right now, sir, marriage for papers and money. Very few people that's taking it seriously. And I want to tie that into somebody that commented, and I'm going to try and find it today. And I know this person to be, she professed to be a Christian, and her faith and all of that, she don't hide it. But then she says something, and I ask her if it's biblical. listen, most of the people them right now don't believe in a Bible, or they not do this and they not do that and all of that. And I'm like, so why you jump on the side to say, because if I'm going to talk, every time I open my mouth, some part of it with certain topic is biblically me I talk about. So that Kavisha said a while ago, should we just leg our hands in and say, well, since most people don't take it serious, let's just let it be what it is, or what they turn it into. Hold on. You hear me, Teddy? Teddy? All right, I am not hearing you. If you're talking, me not hear you. Did you mute your mic, sir? I'm not hearing you, Sir Jones. All right.
You're not hearing me?
I'm hearing you now.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I'm hearing you now. I'm hearing you now.
Good. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the connection. Okay, good.
Did you hear my question?
Should we allow things, simply agree and allow things because most persons are
Yes, that was
saying
the
a particular
question.
thing or doing
That
a
was the
particular
question.
thing?
That was the question.
Yeah, no. I would never agree with that. And what that speaks to, Damien, is the fact that most people are not clear on what their values are. We make professions, and that profession is supposed to carry with it a set of values. But there's a huge gap between what we profess and what our values really are. You see, if you claim to subscribe to a biblical Christocentric Christian worldview, then there are certain values that come with that. Now you can't be so loose and fast with these values. It means that that's not really your value. Your value is you're supposed to be consistent on what your value is, and that is supposed to be internally determined and not at the whim and fancy of external factors. So a lot of people, you would expect them to subscribe to a particular value and hold dearly to that value.
I like that. The value. I like that. The value. I like that. I like that, because when I think of value or hear value, I think of morals. I think of standards. I think of, them kind of something that to say when you're married. I said this last week on my show that when I wasn't married at the time, but I was living with somebody. We were in a committed relationship, and she was saying, I can't stay at Jati. You must know who Jati is. You can't have woman in your house and that Jati till 2-3 o'clock, and that is what I used to do as a single man. So she saw that as a standard, one value to say, you have to value your household. And I'm like, maybe that was preparing me for marriage. And I think this is how, married women think. You then you better hug up your pillow when your man that road play domino till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Look good. So tell me, what are some of the things that should be in a marriage or should be done in a marriage? And I want you to contrast that with some of the don'ts.
Okay, so one of the fundamental pillars is the pillar of trust, right? As opposed to all the opposites of that, unfaithfulness, infidelity, falsehood, the whole gamut of the opposite end of the spectrum. Then there is the expectation of commitment, that the idea of a decision that was made to be committed in an exclusive manner to this person that is your spouse. And then there's the idea of similar to along the lines of trust, the matter of loyalty and how that is connected to love. Now, love here is not to be confused with the romantic romanticizing the fluff, the butterflies in the stomach kind of a thing.
Right.
You're talking now about love as defined primarily 3 words, 3 S's.
Mm-hmm.
Sacrifice, surrender, and service.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of love that demands of you and causes you to be willing and glad to make sacrifices, to surrender your rights, very often for the sake of mutual tranquility, mutual peace.
Mm-hmm.
One has to be willing and prepared to surrender your rights. So it's not about, okay, I must be right every time, I must have the last word every time.
Mm-hmm.
But you are prepared to surrender even your rights in the interest of this other person. And then service, a mutuality of service.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself in this context as existent to serve you and to put you first, to put you above even my own self.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of persons are not yet at that level of love. And that's where a lot of the problems come in, because there comes a point in time when the butterflies in the stomach and all the niceness of the wedding day, when that will evaporate when the rubber hits the road and you get into the crucible of life.
Mm-hmm.
You need something more than those nice fluffy feelings, and it's not your feelings are variable.
Mm-hmm.
It's not every day you are going to feel that feeling. When the rubber hits the road and there are the hard winds of life hit upon you, you need something stronger. You need a foundation that is more solid than just feelings.
Right.
And it is that's where that kind of love comes in. So that is an essential component.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of a willingness to stick through whatever comes, the ups and the downs. There are some people who, in the course of pregnancy, the first pregnancy, it's a very, very difficult pregnancy, or the child comes and the child is born with a defect, and that shakes the foundation. Things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Things that you never anticipated, and when those things happen, it is that element of a stick-to-itiveness that, look, we made a commitment and this is where we're at now, and we're going to work this thing through together.
Let's take a couple of steps back, because people who know me now and those who just get to know who Damien Phillips is, I actually take on this role, and I have some brethren who said, no, brother, I'm not do this with you, I'm not go this with you, to brand myself as a gender activist. And that is because I feel like society is so against male, and everything that we learn a kind of way, them switching it. So you really see, Teddy, in this age, it's when you come on to, you talk about love and all of that, there's a mutuality thing, or just like I've heard pastor, I remember when I was buying my suit to get married, the gentleman that was assisting me in the store, he's a pastor, and he said, listen to me, I have one piece of advice for you. Happy wife, happy life. And I hear it reverberated several times all over the place, and I have different cliche where people use. So the focus is, and I can confess, I've been in a relationship where females told me straight up, that's virgin, you're a matter of fact, you're a man. What kind of feelings you talk about and emotion? You're supposed to be there for my feelings, and you're supposed to make sure me comfortable, because if me not happy, then last week Thursday I had a guest, and she called in and she said it. She said, listen, most women, if not all women, if the man is not making them feel comfortable and satisfied, then a miserableness in the house. Nobody naga happen. So in today's day and age, do you really see this playing out where it's a mutuality thing, or one sex is being dominant, unlike what used to happen a couple of years ago? And then we're expected, because I hear that when you do certain things, so for example, if your wife cheat on you or she do disrespect you or whatever, you're mature. When you angle it one way where you really bash her or kick her to the curb or seek divorce, you're mature. Is that what you're seeing, or just me?
it's in terms of the ways in which some of these statements have become so accepted, used so often, and have become so accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And by their acceptance, how they infiltrate and affect people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a whole lot of that, because what you have just described, it has come to be largely expected.
Right.
But that doesn't make it right, because as I always like to say, easiness is not equal to oughtness. The fact that something is does not make it mean that it ought to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we have to debunk these myths. I call it a myth.
Right.
And we have to challenge these myths head on, because the man is as much an individual with a body, a mind, emotion, a body of emotions, just like the female.
Right.
And what is being proposed is a total one-way street. And there's no way that could be something that is going to produce any.
Exactly.
You're heading for a train crash, if that is how it is going to be. Because what that will translate to is one person constantly pouring out, not receiving, and that person is going to be going to be depleted.
Right.
If you have a huge sum of money in the bank and you keep withdrawing, and no deposits are being made, eventually it is going to become depleted.
But then what we hear, you're a man. What we hear
Mhm.
is you're a man, so you're supposed to, and not to digress, because again, people welcome. I have a clip I'm lining up to play where I'm really asking tonight is if it's a premise to take a break from your marriage or your committed relationship, because what I'm seeing is now, I think it's a confession from some people that they're well so into open relationship or just do what you feel like. That is what we're talking about this evening. So, but even with the money part of it,
values again,
right?
You see the real value coming out.
Exactly. So even with the monetary part of it, Teddy, I've heard this again. Pastors telling couples, because I do weddings, that listen in Jamaica. Make sure I add that. That listen, the woman's money is the woman's money, and the man money is the woman's money. And the world church laugh, but there are females who actually believe that. And part of our culture again, people. Let me always give away him secret. I don't know if anybody know, but he's not a born Jamaican, but we adopt him. But I don't know if it's the same in your island. But in Jamaica, and you must have seen this, where you have men who feel less of a man if they not utilizing it, if they have the knowledge of the amount of money that their wives make. You have men, they feel uncomfortable to say, okay, you know what? I am the man, I am paying all the bills, whatever. If I don't pay the bills, then I'm less of a man. And the phone parts of the cable is about to get cut off. Them feel away if you say to them wife, say, babe, you can at least lend me the money for pay the cable bill. No. If they do that, feel less of a man. So you have even that pressure from society. So tying that with what you say. So if the man keep on pouring out, he's expected to be strong for his wife emotionally, spiritually, all of that. And she's just withdrawn. As you say, one day the bank account go empty. And then when the man flip and switch, which, let me stop right there. So, because this is going over into something else. You want to say anything that I said about that a while ago?
Again, some of the things that the societal statements, the societal beliefs that go unchallenged. And, I'm not afraid to say that there are many things that some pastors say that ought not to be said.
Exactly.
Because these are things that in the course of premarital counseling that you're supposed to debunk those things, because the fact that it is said, who said it and who makes it right? Where is the evidence that this works and that this
doesn't work?
Produces,
exactly.
good benefit as opposed to creating problems. Yeah, I mean, I have a very strong background in science and IT. So I combine all of that with what I do. And so I focus a lot on research and evidence-based and not so much on just sayings and anecdotes.
Right.
Right. And what the real evidence on the ground is saying is that those things are recipes for problems.
Disaster.
Major problems. And we have to challenge a lot of those societal norms.
You know, and
mores
I think I'm going to bring you back, Teddy. You hearing me? Because the same thing that happened last night.
Yeah.
So I think I want to bring you back. May I make sure I tell you from now? Because I asked this question, I think it was over the weekend. And I love the feedback that I was getting, because I asked this question: should wives who work out come home and still assist their stay-at-home dads? And trust me, some very, very interesting response. Most women saying, "Oh, no, sir, no, you're mad." And why stay home in the first place and thing. And this other lady, one lady was saying, I gotta ask her for big guest too. She's like, listen, there are people who they fashion the relationship and it's applicable, it works. You know, but this mindset again, oh, can you have a stay home dad? That means one lady actually asked, so all the bills them are gonna get paid. And I'm like, there are stay home dads who actually work from home, even if they're entrepreneurs. And maybe they're even working more money, but guess what? Because where society is right now, I can't look at my wife and say, sit home with your masters. Or sit home with a degree. Don't go to work. Stay home. Even if I'm making more money. Women feel like, listen, we are take with them rights if we said to them what we used to tell them 40 years ago. Stay home and take care of the house and fight. But let me say, that is not what we're discussing. But as you say, some of these myths we need to debunk and get rid of. Let me read a couple of these comments and then let me go to a clip that I want to play to take off into the next part of the discussion this evening. If you're just joining, welcome. With me this evening is Mr. Jones. He's a life coach amongst enough whole other stuff, and I'm simply me, Damien Phillips, the host. So let me read a couple of these comments and then we go to the clip and then we continue the discussion. Black Nubian Davis said, when men create drama and step out, women are not happy, and that's when things get sour. Different things make people happy in relationship. Yeah, I know. I heard about husband and wife swapping. I can't see how that's supposed to be making you happy. No, maybe we need to preach more Bible in us, Sir Jones, because the flesh thing, I think this is what put a lot of people into problem. Both male and female. The satisfaction of the flesh. You know what I say? Anyway, read some more. Mrs. Ferguson, go. May I make sure I add your double bar tonight. If I take a break, I think it's better to move on. Newman says, not everybody good with money management. Sometimes men do it better, and women like to spend. And I'm going to be one of the first to say some. That is that. So guys, let's play this video. Let's play this video and then we continue with the discussion.
Oh, 4.5 years ago. I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
Because for me, that was the thing when Aug first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And for him, from our family, it was initially about his health.
Yeah. And I mean, we found all those different resources, you know, to help pull him through. And from there, you know, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided.
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you. I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Here comes the trending word.
I got into an entanglement.
A what?
August, that's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely. I was in a lot of pain and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
You know, you during that time launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. Really a joy to just help heal body.
Yeah.
I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all. Through that particular journey, I learned so much about myself and was able to really confront a lot of emotional immaturity, emotional insecurity. And I was really able to do some really deep healing. You know, and as I came through and started to realize certain things about you and I, he decided to break all communication with me, which was totally understandable.
Right.
And I let that be and hadn't talked to him since.
Right.
But, you know, I will definitely say it's just part of it.
Yeah.
You know, if you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
Teddy, what's your takeaway from all of that? Because I'm going to play the continuation. You see that brother there, Derek? Him sum up my take on all of this. But before I go to it, what's your take, Teddy, on all of that you just heard?
Boy, there's a whole lot in there to be processed. You know, in the end, I think they were trying to convey the sense of the intended permanency of marriage. It perhaps unfortunate that they, I guess, in an attempt to piggyback on the Bad Boys theme, they put it as bad marriage for life. I mean, it really ought not to be a bad marriage for life. You know, you strive after a good marriage and so on. But what I think perhaps the most striking thing in it is that she said that she didn't think that she transgressed at all, which is perhaps the main thing out of that whole that it seems as though because they were on a break, she feels justified in what she did. Therefore, she doesn't feel she transgressed. Now, it has long been. They have both been very public about how they under marriage or their relationship. They have previously spoken quite openly about having what they call an open relationship. So it's a little bit surprising that would even be an issue. So in other words, then you publicly state that you have an open relationship. Why should this be an issue now? And I think that is betraying the fact that a lot of times we that we don't truly believe. So you say, okay, yeah, we have an open relationship, but deep down, something intrinsic in you knows that really ought not to be. Because having said that you have this open relationship, why should it even matter to him that happened? Because you both have been saying probably that you have an open relationship. So it proves is that deep down they know that kind of approach to a marriage is not sustainable.
I'm going to factor in some comments from all over because I've been trying to get several people to be my guest tonight. I really wanted some females, and you know, it didn't work out. But this one, we had a chat about it yesterday, and this was one of her responses. Because I asked her, I wanted to come on my show. She said, talk about what? And I said, entanglement. And she said, well, people are using from the other day out of context. Yada. So she said, however, I don't see anything wrong with how it was used. But some persons are over. All right. So let me fast forward to the part where I really want to share. So she said, where they were separated. So anything can happen afterwards. That is the sentiments that I keep seeing floating all weekend. From the Red Table Talk drop, not every, that's a lie if I say every. Most women come out in support to say, but they're separated. So talk to me. And this is right into what the topic is about tonight. Is it okay to start another relationship, or is it right? Me use the word. Let's stop being politically correct. Is it right for a man or a woman? Because me know nobody say me chauvinistic or whatever. Is it right for either party steps out of the marriage, start a relationship just because they're on a break or they have been separated?
No, not if one is going to be true and honest with the understanding, both the religious and the legal, which is where we started. Definitions and understanding of marriage. If it is that they come to this point, what should be done is that they would need to come to a decision regarding the continuity of the marriage. You know, if you're talking about a committed relationship or even a common law relationship, that's a whole other discussion.
Exactly.
But once you're talking specifically about marriage, there's just no two ways about it, unless you are going to be hypocritical about the thing. From a definitional and a philosophical point of view, the two things, it's totally orange and apples. It's very clear cut. People can do what people can and will do whatever they want to do.
Right. We can't stop that.
Again, the fact that it is does not mean that it ought to be. So for me, it's a non-discussion.
You know, it's funny you said that, because yesterday evening I was invited to a private chat, and I don't know if everybody know, but let me tell you, but I know everybody should know. Zoom, Facebook has created their own create group, so you can go in there, and if I wanted just a set amount of people, we can do that now. You don't have to send nobody for the password and all of these things. Give Facebook a free plug. But I was invited. I was invited into a meeting yesterday evening, and the guy was talking about open relationship and all of these things. One of the person in the group saying that she is she's not married, however she's married, and then she went on to say she's living in Canada now over a year, and the government does not recognize her as married, recognize her as legally separated. I'm like, but even if you put a fancy term to it to say legal, in my book, is either you're married or you're divorced. I don't know no in between. There's no gray area. It's either you're married or you're divorced. So even if you're separated, you're still married. Because if you're divorced, then your status would be divorced. Single, and I see people put it on against society. They put up on Facebook, relationship, it's complicated. Is that you're in a relationship or you're not in a relationship? You know, and the open relationship. But this turn, when she was talking about the man now, the term she used was my husband. So me, I say, sit there. That's exactly what I'm saying. You're not divorced, because if you were divorced, you would have said, right. If you were divorced, she would have said her ex-husband. I have friends even watching right now, and when they're talking to me, I know that they're no longer with their husband. They say their ex-husband. They don't keep on saying their husband. So I think sometimes we even try to trick ourselves. What do you think?
But I would just as I was saying earlier, we try to trick ourselves. There is this internal subconscious battle going on between what we know
is right and what we try to accept.
exactly, and what we want to do, and
Exactly.
and the laws that we create, the moral and ethical laws that we create for ourselves, that we make up as we go along. And so we're subconsciously caught in this vortex. And so our speech and our actions continue to demonstrate these gaps between the two.
Like I say, I'm taking.
So for example,
Go ahead.
Yeah, in Jamaica, even when you are in the process of getting the divorce, legally, remember we said that there's a religious sanction and there's a legal sanction.
Yes.
Legally, until the court has signed what is called the decree absolute. It goes through these different stages.
Right.
There's the decree nicey, and then there's the decree absolute. No person can legally, a person who was married before can legally obtain a marriage license, or no minister of religion is supposed to prepare a marriage officer's marriage by marriage officer's license, where you post the notice on the door and so on. You're not supposed to.
All of that have to be finalized.
You can and be heavily prosecuted.
Exactly.
Until the person who was married before produces an authentic copy of the decree absolute. So say what you want, jump through whatever hoops you want to jump through legally until you have received that decree absolute. The law considers you to still be married to that individual.
Right.
And so if the law takes it to that level, you realize that what people are engaging in is really just mental and emotional gymnastics.
Exactly. Because I tried to point this out over the weekend to somebody else, because that is the argument. They were separated. And I'm like, listen to me. Marriage is not just, as you mentioned it a while ago, there's the legal aspect and then there's the religious aspect. Right? So I'm saying, okay, so is it okay to do whatever you want? Because it's still adultery. If a married person go and have sex with somebody else, you commit adultery.
Right.
Whether you're on break, you're separated, because as I just mentioned.
Right.
But funny enough, I was trying to get a lawyer on, and then I realized today, I always hear this, but there are different jurisdictions that practice different stuff. So I send this question to my lawyer friend. Can someone get into another relationship while on an agreed separation with their spouse? And the lawyer responded and said, of course, the law does not regulate relationship. So I say, so there are no legal repercussions then? And the lawyer responded, the law does not get involved in interpersonal acts, at least not here in Jamaica. Can't say same for the States. So I said a voice note. Should I play it? Let me try play this voice note, see if I can play.
Is alimony something awarded by the court in Jamaica, or alimony is a United States thing?
Let me see what the other one say.
So let me be devil's advocate.
That is the voice, but I can't play it. No, that is my voice. What am I talking
about? Sir, you say the law. Read what you say. The law does not get involved in interpersonal acts, at least not here in Jamaica. And I think you said something else for relationship and bedroom. So how is it that they pass the marital rape law or whatever that is then? Because what going in my bedroom between me and my wife, you know, me not follow. Help me understand this.
Right, I know I went off tangent. Sorry for that audio. It's actually reproducing. But he went on to say, no alimony is not in our language. Spousal maintenance is our law. I'm not, and then he says, I'm not understanding. You want to know about marital rape, or married couples who are separated can have relationships. And it went on and on and on. But what I'm saying here now, Sir Jones, and I have been told here in America, a lot of women are getting alimony because their husband cheated and they decide that they're not leaving. And what I found out, if the wife gets into a relationship, then right there, so the husband don't have to pay her no more money. That is your understanding?
Yeah, it does have legal, it can have serious legal implications,
right,
and financial implications as well. But as you rightly said, it varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But what is consistent is the way in which the sanctity of marriage is enshrined in,
right,
you know, to whatever extent it is, with jurisdiction to the jurisdiction. But the law itself recognizes the intended permanency and the intended seriousness that ought to attend those who enter into that relationship.
Right. Let me try to get some more comments in here. Nubian says, funny how they both know August had poor mental health from his physical abuse in his past, but yet Jada sleep with him while puts blame on her jokingly, and Will, he pays back jokingly too. Bad a marriage because Will think about stepping out if he don't already. I don't get the last part. Maybe I can clear it up. Olive say, and you see, this on a break crap is dumb. crap out. Big up yourself. Nubian say, I believe only spilled the beans because he didn't want to see Will and Jada together. All right. Yes. Oh, August. My bad. I believe August only spilled the beans because he wanted to see Jada and Will back together, because that probably get back at her for closing her door on him. What they had, Jada didn't see it going anywhere because she obviously went back with Will. All right, so let me correct that part of it. No, it's actually August. Say, listen, if I can't have all of you, I don't even want you to communicate with me. Don't call me, don't text me, no nothing. And as Jada says, she haven't reached out or communicated with him since. Nuben, I think you're right. People trick themselves because they're in denial. All right, so let's play the next part of it now, and this is going to bring us to the next part of the discussion that I want to have. And Nubian hinted at it a little bit. So let's listen to this other part. And this is Derek's now giving his assessment to the thing. And I tried to edit it.
So, like a lot of y'all, I got a chance to watch.
So I hope I got you all of the cuss words.
Jada and Will are discussing a lot of the conversation around what Jada and August Alsina had. They call it an entanglement or whatever she said. Anyway, despite some of the side eyeing, I actually thought it was overall a pretty good conversation. At least had a lot of good aspects. Like, I love Will's maturity. You know, I think he was a rare display of a guy who can actually take what he dishes out, because a lot of dudes can't. So I thought it was really cool. I love their honesty between them two. I loved a lot of the revelations that Jada had, and I thought there was a lot to learn from that, but it was something that stuck out to me, in addition to that whole entanglement bullshit. Like, when I saw that rhetoric that she used in order to downplay what she had done, I knew there was some more bullshit coming, and sure enough, it did. I don't know if y'all caught that, but there was a segment where she was talking about all the ways that she learned from this painful time, and she talked about, you know, as I came through it, I noticed some things about me and you, talking about her and Will, and August decided to end all communication, which she understood. But I think that was an oversimplification. I'm gonna go out on the limb and say it wasn't nearly that simple. I'm willing to bet it was a whole lot more like, you know, Will told her he wanted nothing to do with her. So she chose low-hanging fruit, which was a guy who was super broken and came to her for healing and to be fixed inappropriately in that context, not as a romantic anything, but came to her, said, hey, you are a therapist and you got this healing energy, help me out. And because she needed a romantic or a sexual placeholder, she used him for just that. Fast forward, now her and Will decided they want to reconcile for whatever reason. Now she has to go back to August Alsina and tell him you're demoted, or discard him in some kind of way from the romantic space that he had begun to occupy. But August Alsina already had fell in love with her. And to fall in love with somebody, you have to open up your whole heart. And once you open up your whole heart, you cannot accept just a fraction of the love that you once got. Keep in mind, August is broke, or he came into the situation broken. So even her whole love wouldn't have been enough. So of course, at this point, he's even more broken than what he first brought himself to her as. And of course, he cannot handle just a piece of her or just a fraction of her. So he says, you know what, I got to get out of the situation altogether. Now, why is that significant? Because too many times we get caught up in the celebration of couples and all that they went through, all of the betrayals that they overcame or survived, all the infidelities or whatever have you, and we forget about the third party in this situation. I'm not talking about the third party person that knows what they get themselves into, whether it's a homewrecker or somebody that, you know, is in sound mind and know that they are gambling. They're rolling the dice with a separated person, and that person could absolutely reconcile with their spouse. I'm talking about the third party that didn't ask for none of this. Whether they weren't told the truth about what was going on at home, so they had their peace disturbed, and now they are up and sucked into the drama, or in a situation like a person who was basically preyed on in their most vulnerable state. And the reason why we need to talk about this is not to bash Jada or come down on her. First off, I'm not judging her. I don't know if this is a news flash to anybody, but everybody's human. Your favorite mentor, myself included, your favorite teacher, educator, pastor, everybody's human and capable of. We all gonna some more before we leave this earth. Maybe not in the form of an entanglement, maybe so, but we all gonna. So it's not about judging her. This is about, if we're gonna make this a learning lesson, we have to learn from all of it. And the less we talk about this aspect, the more we normalize it. But I know those producers of the show, they're not about pushing this to the forefront because it doesn't really add to the perceived authenticity of the Red Table Talk. And then with Jada's very calm demeanor and all the love that we have for Will Smith and his whole family, it's easy to kind of gloss over the predatory nature of what they're referencing. And it's exactly that, like it's predatory. It's predatory to be made fully aware of what somebody's dealing with, how broken they are, and all the things that August Alsina has going on with him, all the people that have died in his life, turned their back on him that were supposed to love him, and then how she just introduced him to a love and a stability and support that she couldn't maintain. That's predatory as hell. So it's like, yeah, I'm glad. One of my takeaways was like, man, I'm glad that they unlocked this new expert level of commitment and growth. And, despite all that, all the hard times and all the hard dicks life could throw at them, I'm glad, you know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with them hoisting up the trophy of 25 plus years in marriage and counting. I thought it was a little cringeworthy how they fist bumped to a bad marriage for life, but nonetheless, ultimately, I'm glad for them making it through. But at what, do we just continue to ignore when people consume these third parties who didn't deserve this in order to achieve that higher level? Do we just ignore it because we love Jada so much? Do we? It's because the learned lessons were so tasty and so nourishing to become this evolved version of ourselves. Meanwhile, ignoring the fragmented pieces of a person that they left in their wake. Because honestly, I would even go so far as to say that part is even more up than the cheating itself or stepping out or having an affair. Like Jada can do whatever she wants with her vagina, and if we're talking about Jada shit don't mean that he's in. Nonetheless, they got each other at the end of the day. They can soothe each other. They can lick each other's wounds. But for the third party, that person who got brought into it and didn't ask for none of it, didn't deserve none of it, who do they have? Who's rooting for their happy ending? What do they have to show for their involvement in this? Nothing but a broken heart that nobody cares about.
Teddy, that was a lot a while ago. Your take on what Derek has to say about it?
I quite agree with pretty much most of what he said. Actually, at the end there, one of the things that the helping profession is very, very firm on, pastors, counselors, coaches, that those persons like myself is very, very firm on, is in preparation, the legal and ethical issues. And importantly, the matter of the power factor, the fact that when someone comes to you for emotional help, or if the person doesn't come to you, if you see someone in need of emotional help or psychological help, and you offer to help them, you become a person in a position of power and privilege. And that position should never be exploited. So there is, he is not the only one who is raising this question of whether she was sexually predatory and whether she exploited his vulnerabilities. And he made a very excellent point. He came into this broken and is now doubly broken.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she herself was in a place of brokenness. And, you know, it raises something that all of us have to be particularly careful about.
Mm-hmm.
When we are at such emotional lows, we need to be particularly careful that we don't either become so vulnerable that we can easily become a victim of emotional attachments that we wouldn't normally become vulnerable to. Or on the other side, that we don't exploit others, whether they themselves are vulnerable or they are healthy, but because of our own the vacuums that currently exist.
So this
is it is said nature abhors a vacuum, and that is so true.
So this is part of it.
Very emotional vacuums.
This is part of it again, and like I said, I am getting to like saying it that I'm a male activist, and I don't care who. But I have seen and I read comments like, come on, August is a grown-ass man. He wasn't a child. What the hell? Who cares? You know, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, just like we discussed a couple of weeks ago, where females are still of the opinion that even if a woman exploits a man, once his penis is erected, then he cannot say it's rape because from his penis stand up, that means he wanted it. All these line of argument I see coming, not a child. And again, I'm factoring that she met him and August because she went to, I think France it was, because of her kids to watch some performance or whatever. So she met her children's age group, picnic them, whatever, and end up. So back to where it started earlier, you know, I mean, never did want to go there. Where the values and the morals. I know you have 5-year-old boys right now. They don't want to see their mother talk to not even them father. I'm doing some electrical work right now for a family, and the son, I think, is about 8. And I hear the mother threatening him to say, if you don't do what I said to do, I'm going to kiss daddy. Think about that. Him knows I'm father, you know, this is not a stepfather situation, I know, you know. And the mother, to get her 8-year-old son to get what she wants done, she said, if you don't behave yourself, if you don't do this, I'm going to kiss daddy. So me, I say, like, and I'm a very judgmental person. May I first to say it. So me know people are going to say me too judgmental.
Is the Oedipus complex?
But me, I say, like, I find that wrong. I find that wrong, and as Derek said, that's a predatorial. He went, and both Will and Jada admitted it. He was broken. He was torn. And I put this to it. I put this to it, and I want a response to this. If the script was on the other side, what would be you think would be the discussion right now? If it was Will that had gone to a 24-year-old, which is, you know, what him daughter friend that used to come over the house and everybody accept her as family and all of these things. What do you think? What kind of discussion you think we'll be having now?
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to stretch our minds to imagine.
The first would come down on him is the Me Too movement.
All kinds.
Yes, Me Too movement first would have come down on him.
Exactly. We know how the society is, how the thing is organized currently, and how the thing is structured.
Right.
It would have been a major difference in the groups, maybe even lawsuits.
Yes.
Interest groups might have even been wanting
whatever sponsor, whatever. Will could not. Will could not say, okay, I'm going to bring Jada to my black table and talk about having sex with somebody that was in his house. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't. Maybe it would be dig up all kind of something like what they did with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly and all of that. We know.
Landslide. 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 But that, and it doesn't mean that is right either.
True.
Both sets of persons have to be pay particular attention and care to manage those kinds of vulnerabilities.
Who says that shit, man? Father, mother, to get your son. New help me. So she say yes, he's saying thing, and then New Ben say, who says that? Shame head at father, mother to her son. I don't understand. You understand what this person saying, Teddy? I don't know if you see
Oh, I think she's probably talking about what you said with the child, the mother. Who
Oh,
said
the
to
part
the
about I'm
child,
going to kiss daddy if you don't. No, but this is what I'm saying, and I know you have witnessed this. I know you have witnessed this, Teddy. I don't maybe not personal, but you have seen it where boys have this protective thing, this jealousy thing. They don't want to see no man. But maybe because me always a stepfather, so maybe that's why I see it so much. I was out from around 19. I was always a stepfather to somebody pick me. So you know, I know this jealousy thing. I remember one night on a lifestyle, so me can't talk. One night, like every minute when it was me and my girlfriend time, the baby start cry and she'd have to, you know, the child, not the baby. She'd have to go in the other room and hush the baby, and then remember one night me get her so fed up and me just say, yo, me I got me out here, so this not work out. Because I thought it was, you know, intentional. But yeah, it was stress. You mean every time you know what I mean? I say, but yeah, it happened.
That's a recipe for problems right there, so though, with that family.
Yes. Yeah, man, but so this part that no, well, I can't say nobody because Derek, I just shared it. Where and here's what bothered me, and I post this, and I didn't even ask my wife take on it because me post this and me did serious about it. If I see my wife out there like me see some women and even some double-barrel women saying, "Come on, everybody reach a point in their life," and one woman turn it for me and say, "You go like you perfect," I mean, part of it that make it even more disturbing to me. It's because, and remind me of the word that Jada used, Teddy. She don't see any, what's the word she used? I don't remember now, but basically she has said she not see nothing wrong with it. She not see nothing wrong with it because at the time, whatever. And I'm saying females
transgress.
Transgression, right? That's the word.
Is it transgress? Yeah.
That's the word. I mean, I say the amount of women. So now I'm wondering. Because I used to say this from I was old enough to know about relationship and sex and all of these things. When women used to say, oh, men cheat more than women, I said the only way that is possible is if the man them cheating with men.
Well, there you go.
You know what I mean? I said them always say that. No, sir, women don't cheat. Women don't cheat. Women don't this and thing. And last week,
interrogating.
Last week I dealt with that.
We're not interrogating.
Yeah. The whole bias thing, that was one of my topic last week, looking at how, you know, people always view cheating from a man as cheating from a woman, you know, and what came out of that show, Teddy, I don't know if you saw it, where women have this thing that they say, it's always the man's fault. Is the man make me do it? Is that woman that just get up and cheat? So even let them say yes, the woman end up getting entangled. And people say that even in this case to say, listen, Will kicked her to the curb. Will never did have nothing to do with her. So what you expect? She's a human being. She had to go. But me I say back to the word you used at the beginning of the show, value. I just think that wrong. I have past students who are almost 30 now, and I remember even before I get married, because I'm very close to some of them. And one of the things, she was about 2022. She said, "Oh, Mr. Phillips, me have one thing to tell you now." And she used to call me daddy. She said, "Listen, you cannot date anybody younger than me. You cannot." Remember what we were talking about? And she was like 22 at the time, but she saw me as this father figure. And she's like, no, it would be so disrespectful and wrong for you to date somebody. Although the law says 16 is the age of consent, or you can marry that 18 and all of that. And this was this is not even a step. This is not even a step for my biological child. I just taught this girl music cool. And she was saying, no, don't do this. So, you know, when I see people coming out and in support of this and say, come on, you know, somebody told me last night, oh, Jada is at the cougar age. So I guess that is okay to do.
Yeah, you see, the truth is, Damien, we are totally in a post-Christian era, and the values again. The values are largely being shaped by popular culture, by the mass media, by the entertainment industry. And a lot of persons, because we are not trained and taught and socialized to assess and determine our values, a lot of people's values have encountered significant shifts that they may not even have realized.
True.
or perhaps they perhaps they know, but they haven't even stopped the process. Okay, how did I get to this now being okay when 5 years ago, 10 years ago,
It's
I
a
would
no-no.
never consider this to be okay.
Exactly.
That's what's happening. It is the cultural shift, the massive shift in values, the entertainment industry. That is what we have been subliminally programmed to accept over the years, and more people are being vociferous in expressing what really their values are.
True. It's sad.
So as you're saying, openness that is being touted here is perhaps what more people than we care to imagine are going to be taking into any kind of long-term relationship if they ever get to that point.
And like you say, I see this playing out even in the courts, because you must have heard of the situation in somewhere in St. Catherine, Portmore, where the JDF officer came home and it's alleged that he saw his wife, who is a police, and her spoogie, who is also a cop, nude or in compromising position, and it's alleged again that he shot the man. So the DPP ruled a couple of weeks ago that he must be charged. You know, legal possession of firearm and intent to whatever and all of these things. Not to say that it is right, but me just say, like a couple of years ago, like I wouldn't say it's not happening, but this openness that the man knows, say this is a married woman. Her husband da work and him gone in her house, in a them house, gonna have sex. And now even the law is saying, listen, the man shouldn't have done anything. And I'm saying, when we allow these thinking to just warp our mindsets, don't we are gonna see more murder? Because me not sure, but I want to think this soldier is saying, no, you know, so me should just kill them. Then me could have even say, try kill me or try do something. But him never kill it. You know what I mean? I say, so we reach a point now. Yeah. And then after that, I don't remember Dr. Who. I'm not sure I remember that name. There was a piece in the Gleaner that this doctor person is saying men should bring themselves to that level of maturity to accept cheating. I mean, I say, really? Does a society really, really gone? I don't think women should accept cheating, much less men. And this woman is saying, no, Bounty Killer must have said something another. And I'm like, and she quotes Bounty Killer. No disrespect to Bounty. But may I say, of all people, you know, Bounty Killer? And men should accept cheating. Again, I'm saying, and I share this on Facebook, I said, this is powerful because this is how they shape our thinking, like you said earlier, Sir Jones, where this is what's supposed to happen. So more women now, I think, is going to come out and admit it to their spouse and say, oh, you know, when I was going through a little phase, I had an entanglement. And, you know, irregardless of who it is, and the man's supposed to just deal with it like Will. Although I see some facial expressions which tell me, say, no, I'm not really comfortable with it. Like, you know. But someone else to realize, which is sad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and as the guy said, you know, he rates his, you know, how he handled the conversation, yes. but it was still obvious that it was painful for him.
Yes. Although this was a prep, and the producers and everybody, and some people are still wondering, because somebody actually said it to me that, you know what is my problem? Why did she break it to him like that? And I'm like, hello, you saw the different camera angles? That is not just she's just breaking this to him. Will knew everything. It was a script they were following.
Of course.
You know, and it's the most talk about, because even days after, Damien is still talking about entanglement. What's an entanglement? What is an entanglement? And if it's a joke you're making, Anna, if it's a joke you're making, leave me alone, me not answer. Confession is good for the soul, but it gets people killed. Exactly. So I wouldn't.
But you know it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, she used entanglement in counseling and in psychology. We've long spoken about, use the term enmesh. I'm trying to talk about an enmeshed relationship. You know, reflecting on enmesh, the emotional state of the dude and her own emotional state. I'm not sure, perhaps she knows precisely why she chose that term, because that's what it would have had to be.
Right.
She was in a broken state. He's broken. He's seeking help, and this love emotional thing comes into the mix. So it's really an enmeshment.
Right.
So she actually used an accurate term.
Yeah, and it is the more searched for, and it was trending. So Fahana just asked, what is an entanglement? I went to the internet, and it's a noun, and it says the action or fact of entangling or being entangled. Yeah, so I don't know if that helps you much. What else you want? What else you want to leave with us, Sir Jones?
Right.
By the way, your 30 days started already?
Oh yeah.
Talk to us about
that. Today we did day 9. Yeah. So we are actually on day 9, and we are at the point now where each day the participants get a specific activity to do, because it's intended to help persons develop specific actions and repeat those actions over the period of 30 days, because it takes 30 days to actually create and establish a new habit. The activity for today, day 9, persons to admire their bodies, because on day 2 we spoke about the fact that many people use the shape of their body, their physical appearance and attractiveness as a determiner of their self-love, and how so many persons are uncomfortable with how their body looks.
But that's why the plastic surgeon, they're making so much money, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. $1 trillion industry.
Yeah.
$1 trillion industry.
Yeah.
And there's a whole emotional baggage associated with that. So yes, today we spoke about, we looked at that. Yesterday, what did we do yesterday? I don't remember now. But tomorrow for day 10, we're going to be talking about eating nutritional foods as a way of expressing love for yourself, and making the connection between loving ourselves and taking care of our bodies by ensuring that we eat healthy foods. So it's been going pretty well. The feedback has been really good, and the participants are interacting a lot, and we covered a lot of theory on the first 3 days, and from day 4 we went into the specific activities, one activity for each day.
Cool. Where can we follow you?
So on Facebook it's Asiel Jones, or I don't know if you could type that up or whatever. It's BDWVNI 2020 on Facebook. On Instagram it's BYE, the number 2 DEBT, and the website is www.teddyajones.com.
Cool. Thank you very much, brother. And remember, I don't know soon I'm going to do that topic, but I want to look at this all, should women, and of course, you see where the contrast is, because that is what we keep on hearing now. No, women, you must come home and no matter what, help out because it's hard work. So is it okay for the man, the stay home dad, to say, and we have to decipher this first, because there are women who are apprehensive on this whole, what you mean, stay at home dad? No, I'm a man, you figure out the work. So like I said, we'll discuss that another time. But thanks again very much for accepting the invite.
Yeah, man, sure.
And you know me always enjoy the reasoning. So cool. Bless up.
Yeah, man. I was actually looking forward to Pastor Stamp.
I don't know what happened.
Seen him in years.
I don't know what happened. I know I'm going to apologize.
It didn't work out, but
so it go.
Yeah.
So it go. All right, then take care.
All the best, man. You know how it go.
Yeah, man. Bye bye. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
All right, so that is that is from my guess, and like you hear him say, yeah, we're supposed to have Pastor Stamp and some other people, but so it go, guys. Remember that not even me and I get paid for this, you know. So we can't really. Not that I'm saying that is because who don't come on is because they're not getting paid. That is not what I'm saying. I am actually saying, and why that do that to me, exposing my green screen. No, it's not. Does not mean I'm a labor right, people. There's this technology called green screen for you to see my backdrop. All right, so that exposed a while ago was not supposed to be the case. I see Hannah said something. Hannah said something a while ago, and I couldn't leave without mentioning it because it's true. This is how I see it. So Black Nubian really answer Hannah. Like, seriously? You really think Hannah no? So she said, like, compromise position, relationship, everyone running with that word and making mockery, but marriage isn't all easy. Yeah, I think it's work. And basically what marriage is too individual. And like I said this, I did Dr. Orville Taylor's wedding a year, same date. And he said something and I stole it and I use it at my wedding for my groom's reply. I don't subscribe to this thing, although it's biblical to say when you're married, you become one. I still not understand the maths there, you know, but it's what the Bible say. Because I think when you're married, it's two individual, two total separate, different lifestyle. And even if you're at the same church and got the same school, it's still two, you're not the same. Right? And people ask this question from time to time. If it was able, opposite sex, of course, I have to put that in, to date yourself or somebody with your exact, I am not sure I would date myself. You know what I mean? I say, I think I'm disgusting at times. I can't, but I have people who question, oh, my wife put up with me based on the stuff that I post on Facebook. You know, I have people who think that I post my life on Facebook. And I always remember this joke where I post this kitchen sink. And one of my friends called me and say, you know, my husband wondering if it's your kitchen that you post. And the husband was saying to my friend, because no, him and him wife and him stepdaughter live and things. So because there were 3 plates, 3 cups, 3 whatever, him assumes I did my thing. You know what I mean? There are some people like, we can't believe say married and him post these things. And, you know, people tell me, oh, you mean I love woman and me know this and me know that and me know all of these things. So, yeah. But two separate individuals coming together. So it's work. It's work. I was talking to one of my friends last night and I was making fun of her because she catch the bouquet at her wedding recently. And I say, yes. And I laugh. And she said, what that for me? I say, me happy for my friend. My friend is next in line for a blessing. And she's like, come on, DP. Yeah, well, like, you don't know me. No, me afraid of the whole, you know, and what the Bible says, which people, women have changed that. So when you talk about submission, no, you don't use that with no wife. Well, I'm not submitted. No, And then you hear, no, if the man do what I'm supposed to do, then me will submit. Like, what's the point of getting married if you're going with the thinking to say, no, you're going to have to do them something before. I know so it's supposed to be. But again, I'm saying two individuals come together to make it work. Marriage takes work. That is what my friend said last night. Marriage takes work. Because you have times to which I don't know if it really goes so. But I know of cases or heard of cases where women just start act some way because they want the man give them a proper sort out. So then pick argument for nothing at all, you know, whatever, because they don't want the regular, they want one decent, lay it palm me good, proper, you know, I like a beat the pitney, you know what I say? But I'm not saying whipping your wife, I just say women tend to do that. So you think everything nice and good and then you say one simple or something, maybe you just answer one question and for some reason you just answer it wrong. And then that just casts one whole different level of, you know, but yeah, marriages, you see, a Black Nubian push me off on a tangent, you know, it really work. Poly work. So Hannah said, this is the comment that I couldn't leave without reading. So apparently women get in entanglement, or women get entangled and men cheat. Yep. So that's the new word. Women don't cheat, because I used to hear that. No, women don't cheat. Or some people who say women don't cheat just so. So women don't cheat. And even the cheat that you mentioned, Hannah, there are women who say she did not cheat either because they were separated, although still married, but separated. Very, very interesting. Not people, just out whatever label they want and what they do. They're gonna use any word they want to justify being with someone else. Yes, true. All right. So I want to say thanks again, guys, for joining me this evening. I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed talking to Sir Jones. Remember, you can go and follow him in all those places. The program is recorded on Facebook and YouTube. And yes, people, Facebook and YouTube messed up my show last night. I saw maybe like 7, 8. That's the number they were showing on Facebook, but it hits when I came off like 239, I think was the count. It's double that since. YouTube cut it at a point where the brothers were explaining something. So I've experienced internet censorship or censoring last night in my show. So I'll try to stay away from those topics. You know what I'm saying? Try to stay away. But anyway, thanks, guys. I think tonight would have been more festive. I think women who support the entanglements, way of living and lifestyle would have come for me, but they didn't. So I don't know if people are watching a course. And I keep on being reminded that there are silent viewers. So let me go over to YouTube, which Arju was the first one over there, Antoinette, and say thank you guys for joining. I see no other comment here apart from good night. And those of you who watch whichever way, I don't know if people are using my video just like I'm use other people's video from time to time. But if you're a silent viewer, please continue to watch. I hope one day you will grow the bravery and foster the bravery to actually be a part of the discussion. Because I always say my show is like sex. Like if you just lay down on your back or your side and you can't complain, say it's boring. The more you put in is the more you get out. So finally, thanks for being here. Until tomorrow evening. If you can't be good, please be careful.
Baby. If you want someone to play with, go and find yourself a toy. Baby, my time is too expensive, and I'm not your little boy. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will tell like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me. Life's too short to have sorrows. You're here today, gone tomorrow. You might as well get what you want. So go on and live. Go on and live. Tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed. Let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside, I believe you love me, so forget your foolish pride. Don't lie to me. If you are serious, don't play with my heart, makes me furious. But if you want me to love you, baby, I will. Baby, I will tell it like it is. Don't be ashamed, let your conscience be your guide. No, I know deep down inside.